Imagine this scene. It's Cairo, late at night, maybe 10 p.m.
Okay.
The air feels thick, still. You're on a quiet side street in Heliopolis. A car's just sitting there waiting.
Uh-huh.
Inside, there's this young guy, Abbas, brilliant medical student. He gets into the back seat.
Right.
He thinks he's there to sort out this money issue with his friend Farouq, a meeting arranged by Fatima, the woman he used to love.
So he thinks she's helping him out here.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe smoothing things over. He feels relief, maybe. But then that car door clicks shut.
And that sound, that's the trap snapping shut, isn't it? That's the point of no return.
Absolutely. Pure dread hits him. For Abbas, it's the end. But for Fatima, this is victory, the end of a 4-year plan.
She saw herself as this cleverest physician, not in medicine, though, in manipulation.
Right. Believing she'd cooked up this perfect plot, either securing her future or, if that failed, perfect revenge.
It's chilling. A plot built over years, starting way back in 2018. Academic ambition twisted into, well, into murder.
So that's our mission today, isn't it? To really pull apart that timeline, go beyond just the horror of the final act, and look at the psychology, the strategy behind it all.
Exactly. This wasn't a sudden crime of passion. It was cold, calculated. A sequence designed step by step to create this guaranteed backup plan for murder, all under the cover of studying medicine.
Okay, so let's go back to 2018. What's the setup?
Well, the first thing that jumps out is the difference in, what they were really after. You've got Abbas. He's Iraqi, super smart, high achiever. His whole world revolved around one thing, getting into medicine at Cairo University. That was the dream. He had the brains, the family support, everything pointed towards that goal.
Okay, purely academic focus. And
Fatimah, also a relative but a distant one. And she was already secretly obsessed with Abbas. It wasn't like she suddenly decided Cairo medicine was her dream too.
Oh.
No, she engineered it. Found out he was going, then suddenly declared it was her lifelong ambition too. She convinced Abbas they should go together, study together.
Wow. Like a Trojan horse, basically, using the shared goal as cover.
Precisely. And it worked brilliantly on her family too. They were hesitant about her going alone.
Yeah.
But once Abbas, this respectable, smart relative, was part of the picture, they agreed immediately.
So Abbas thought he's getting a study buddy.
Yeah. And she thought she was getting Abbas.
Yeah.
Her focus was him first, the career second. A huge difference right from the start.
And once they actually got to Cairo, enrolled at the university...
The surveillance started almost instantly. She was fixated, watching his every move.
They must have noticed that, surely, that intensity.
He did. It's noted he found her behavior unusual, intense. But, maybe it was cultural politeness. Maybe he was just so laser-focused on his studies. He didn't say anything. He let it slide.
Which just allowed it to continue, I suppose.
Right. And she used that, leveraged his good nature, his popularity, kept asking for help with studies, drawing him closer and closer.
Okay.
Then, after maybe 3 months, she drops the bomb, confesses her feelings.
And how did he react, given he already felt something was off?
He felt it was strange, yeah. I mean, they were distant relatives. This intensity felt sudden. But she was persistent. And eventually, he reciprocated. He gave in.
Okay, so that marks a shift. Phase 2 begins here.
Yeah, and the environment changes to kind of facilitate things escalating.
Yeah.
They move out of the university dorms.
Less supervision there.
Exactly. He moves into a private apartment with a male friend. She does the same with a female friend. Suddenly, they have the freedom to meet whenever they want, away from prying eyes.
Even with the pressures of medical school.
Even with that physical separation from the dorm structure was crucial. It gave them the space, the cover to get more deeply involved.
And the pressure from her side increases.
Massively. Fatima needed security. She pushed hard for commitment, demanding guarantees he'd never leave her. This intensity, it led them down a path towards illegal acts.
And this is where Abbas gets really trapped, isn't it?
This is the point of no return for him. He felt this immediate crushing guilt, causing her to lose her virginity that carries enormous weight, socially and culturally.
Huge weight.
Though burdened by that guilt, he makes a promise. He'll marry her as soon as they graduate.
But was that promise really about love at this point? Or was it mostly that guilt, that sense of obligation, maybe even fear of the consequences if he didn't?
It seems like a devastating mix of all those things. Guilt, obligation, perhaps a sense of having broken something related to her honor that he now had to fix.
And Fatima must have understood that dynamic perfectly.
Oh, she absolutely weaponized it. She knew he felt bound by his conscience, by this sense of duty. Love wasn't necessarily the primary driver anymore, and she knew it.
So her mindset shifted then.
It hardened, That's when the thought process became, if he isn't mine, he won't be anyone else's. That possessiveness, that's what sets the stage for the next strategic move around 2020.
Right, phase 3. And this is where the catalyst appears. Things are already strained, held together by guilt, and then Farouq shows up.
Exactly. Farouq, another Iraqi student, studying alongside them.
Okay. And what's his role?
He's observant. He quickly picks up on the vibe between Abbas and Fatima. He sees what Abbas maybe won't admit to himself, that the relationship is running on fumes, on guilt, not real affection.
And he's drawn to Fatima.
Deeply. Yeah. And crucially, Fatima realizes two things almost at once. One, Abbas is capable of leaving her eventually once the guilt fades or the pressure becomes too much.
Okay.
And two, Farouq is interested in her, but he won't make a move while Abbas is still in the picture.
So she sees an opportunity, a potential replacement or something else.
Something much darker. This is where she formulates the backup plan. The strike two birds idea. It's kind of pathologically brilliant, isn't it? To design a revenge plot while still in the relationship.
And deeply disturbing. So what was the plan?
Keep the status quo for now. If Abbas stays, fine. Her future feels secure. But if he leaves, she'll use Farouq for revenge.
And how does she start setting that up?
Well, first, she needs to push Abbas closer to the edge. So she starts exploiting him financially, making demands, creating this constant material pressure. Remember, they're students abroad, money's likely tight.
Making his life even more difficult, pushing him towards breaking point.
Exactly. And this financial pressure, that becomes the key to ensnaring Farouq.
How so?
She starts confiding in Farouq, but carefully. Keeps an emotional distance, but complains vaguely about her problems with Abbas. Paints a picture.
Okay.
Then Farouq learns Abbas is struggling financially, likely because of Fatima's demands, though Farouq might not realize the extent of her role.
And he steps in.
Yes, but not romantically, not trying to buy her affection. He offers Abbas a substantial loan. Out of friendship, out of solidarity, fellow Iraqis trying to make it in Egypt.
Wow. So that loan wasn't about Fatima initially. It was mate helping mate.
Correct. But Fatima immediately sees its potential. Now she has multiple levers. Abbas's guilt, Farouq's attraction to her, and his physical presence may be useful later. And now this concrete financial debt. A non-romantic, potentially public motive for conflict.
She's building her arsenal. Okay, fast forward to 2021.
By 2021, the relationship is visibly toxic. The strain is obvious. Abbas finally reaches his limit. He knows it's wrong, recognizes the damage, and decides he has to end it. Despite his past mistakes, despite the guilt, he breaks up with her.
And Fatima's reaction? Is she devastated? Angry?
Cold, calculated. The decision is instant. If he won't be hers, he has to die. No hesitation. She immediately shifts into executing the plan she'd been incubating for probably a year by this point.
So what's the first move in executing this plan?
A performance. She goes public with the breakup, but presents it as calm, amicable, mutual. She even wishes him well publicly.
Building an alibi? Crafting a narrative?
Exactly. Performing for their social circle, creating this image of maturity, of moving on gracefully. It's a shield for later. But behind the scenes, she starts working on Farouq. Intensively.
How does she manipulate him now? He already lent Abbas money.
She starts opening up to him, really pouring her heart out. But it's all carefully constructed lies. Lie number one, the easy one. Abbas is never going to repay that loan. Taps into Farouq's frustration about the money.
Okay, planting seeds of resentment.
Then the bigger lie. She confides in him that there's a deep secret, something terrible that was the real reason for the breakup, something Abbas did to her.
Oh, wow. Building the suspense, making Farouq feel protective.
Precisely. Farouq's already attached, probably feeling sympathy for her, and now he's angry about the money. He's being primed to see Abbas as a total villain.
And when does she reveal the secret?
She waits. Lets the resentment simmer. Then, sometime in 2022, when she senses he's emotionally ready, completely on her side, she drops the final manipulation.
The deep secret.
Yes. She reveals it. The loss of her virginity to Abbas, and then his callous abandonment. She frames it as the ultimate betrayal. Abbas isn't just a guy who owes money. He's a liar, a user, someone who destroyed her life, her honor.
And Farouq buys it completely.
Hook, line, and sinker. He's furious about the debt, furious about how Fatima claims she's been treated. He sees Abbas as this deceitful monster.
The perfect storm of manufactured rage.
Exactly. And in that moment, that peak of shared fury she has engineered, Fatima makes her move. She asks Farouq to help her get their rights back by getting rid of Abbas permanently.
Just like that, she proposes murder.
Yes. And she reassures him, tells him it'll be untraceable. Why?
Yeah.
Because she's already performed the public amicable separation. No one would suspect her. And the loan, that's a secret between them and Abbas. Who would connect the dots?
And Farouq agrees.
Instantly. No hesitation reported. He's completely under her spell, fueled by this manipulated rage and sense of injustice.
Which brings us back to that dark street in Heliopolis, the ambush itself. How did they lure Abbas there?
Deceptively simple. Fatimah calls Abbas. She tells him she's managed to convince Farouq to meet and finally sort out the money issue peacefully.
Okay.
But then she adds a twist. She claims she's worried Farouq might get angry, maybe cause a scene. Could Abbas come meet them both to ensure things stay calm?
Playing on Abbas's potential relief that she still cared. Maybe his sense of responsibility, too.
Exactly. He probably felt relieved she was intervening, maybe even trying to protect him. So he agrees. Meet them in Farouq's car, 10 p.m., that quiet side street.
He walks right into it.
He walks right into it. The moment he's in the back seat, Farouq, who is physically capable, grabs him, immobilizes him.
And Fatimah.
Fatimah produces the knife, and she stabs him. Repeatedly. Until they're both certain he's dead.
Chilling, the coldness of it. And the cleanup.
Meticulous. They drive the body way out to a deserted area, Al Warbor. Fatimah, ever the planner, takes charge of the evidence, wipes the knife clean of prints, discards it near the body.
But not with the body.
Near it, but handled carefully. Then, they destroy Abbas's ID, his official papers, his mobile phone, and they don't dump those with the body either. They throw them away somewhere else, far away, making it harder to connect everything.
Covering their tracks. Seems like they thought of everything.
They tried, but even the best laid plans, they unravel. Days pass. Abbas's family, worried sick, report him missing.
Okay.
Then soon after, some workers out in Al Warbor stumble upon a body, a young man, dumped in the desert. The description matches the missing student, Abbas.
So the police get involved. Where do they start?
They find Abbas had no known enemies, no obvious reason for anyone to kill him. But they check his phone records, the last person he called, Fatimah.
Ah, so they bring her in.
Yes. And initially, she sticks to her script, cool, calm. Oh yes, we broke up, but it was amicable, wished him all the best. The performance continues.
But there was a weak link she didn't account for.
Her roommate, Zara, her closest friend. Zara knew the relationship wasn't amicable. She knew how toxic it was.
And she talked to the police.
She did. She told them something crucial. On the night Abbas disappeared, Zara saw Fatimah come home very late, and she looked stressed, highly stressed.
Yeah.
And there were bloodstains on her clothes.
Bloodstains. What did Fatimah say?
Fatimah brushed it off, claimed she'd tripped and fallen. But Zara knew something was wrong. That testimony was damning.
That must have blown Fatimah's story apart.
It was the beginning of the end for her carefully constructed narrative. Police dig deeper, analyze Fatimah's phone. They uncover the whole messy history with Abbas, and crucially, these highly unusual, intense messages exchanged with Farouq around the time of the murder.
The evidence was piling up.
Overwhelmingly. Confronted with Zara's testimony, the phone records, the inconsistencies, Fatimah breaks. She confesses everything.
And implicates Farouq.
Completely. Points to him as her accomplice.
What about Farouq? What happens when he realizes he was just used?
That must have been a brutal realization. He learns his feelings, his money, his loyalty. None of it mattered to Fatimah. He was just the muscle. Needed to physically overpower Abbas and then dump the body somewhere remote. Just a tool in her plan.
So they both confessed. What about the trial? Did Fatimah try to justify it?
She did. She tried to argue it was self-defense, defending her honor after Abbas abandoned her.
But the timeline.
Exactly. The prosecution pointed out this wasn't a spontaneous act. This was planned for at least a year. The calm public breakup, the manipulation of Farouq, the luring of Abbas, it was all calculated. That completely undermined the defense of honor claim.
And Farouq's motive, the debt.
The court saw that as incredibly weak. People get into debt disputes all the time. It doesn't usually end in premeditated murder involving knives and desert body dumps. It just didn't add up as a primary motive for him, highlighting Fatimah's manipulation as the driving force.
So the verdict.
Given the planning, the deception, the brutality, the court found them both guilty of premeditated murder. The sentence was death. Their papers were referred to the Mufti.
And for listeners who might not know, that referral to the Mufti, it's a formal step in Egypt for capital punishment cases, right? Underscores the gravity.
It does. It's a required consultation, confirming the severity with which the court viewed the entire calculated affair.
When you look back at the whole thing, that cold calculation is just staggering.
It really is. She had Abbas trapped emotionally. When he finally broke free, she didn't miss a beat. She just activated her backup plan, swapping the emotional hostage for a physical weapon in Farouq.
The strategic thinking is, in a twisted way, remarkable. But the lack of any moral compass.
It's absolute zero empathy. It's a terrifying example of how intelligence, planning ability, even the knowledge gained from studying medicine, how all of that can be twisted, weaponized when it's driven by obsession and destructive intent.
Using the skills of a healer for the opposite purpose.
There's a line that often comes up in reflections on cases like this about how the end of wrong is ugly. Fatimah thought she was in complete control, didn't she?
Yeah, controlling Abbas, controlling Farouk, controlling how everyone saw the breakup, maybe even thinking she could control the legal outcome.
But the one thing she couldn't control, the ultimate consequences of her own actions. The cleverest physician meticulously planned her own downfall, destroying 3 lives, including her own future.
A chilling reminder that calculated cruelty ultimately consumes the perpetrator, too. That's a heavy thought to end on from this deep dive.